What's up, Chuckers? Producer Mike here. Welcome to your Served 5-Setter, a weekly roundup of all things Racket Sports, 5 stories in 10 minutes or less. Today is November 13th, and here is what we have for you. Iga joins Serena in the history books, a united front in 2026, a visa nightmare threatens an Aussie Open dream, and Novak sits down with Piers Morgan. But first, congratulations are in order. Ons Jabeur and her husband, Kareem Kamoun, just announced she's putting her tennis comeback on hold for the best possible reason. They are expecting their first child in April. The couple broke the news to the public in an Instagram post featuring Kareem holding a tiny Wilson racket and Ons holding a Wimbledon onesie with the caption, quote, "Took a little break to reset and recharge. Turns out we've been planning the cutest comeback ever. The court will have to wait a little longer because soon we'll be welcoming our tiniest teammate." Jabeur, who made history as the first African woman and Arab player to reach a Grand Slam final, has been open about her desire to balance career and family, a journey captured in both Netflix's Breakpoint and her own documentary, This Is Me. Congratulations, Kareem and Ons. On to set number 2. The season-starting United Cup has announced their rosters for 2026. Here's a refresher for all those folks like me who get their tennis cups mixed up. The 18-team co-ed event of both singles and mixed doubles matches will take place in Australia January 2nd through January 11th. Each team, organized by home country, includes 3 men and 3 women. But just wait, this tournament isn't just for fun. There's 500 ATP or WTA points on the line for the participants. Now, if I had another 30 minutes, I could tell you how the ever so complicated point system works, but alas, we only have 5 more minutes left for the rest of the stories on this list. If you want to see how the United Cup's point system works, check it out in this week's newsletter. Go to newsletter.servepodcast.com and sign up now to have your mind melted by the mathematical probabilities of this event. That said, here's the good stuff. Rosters will include the likes of Iga Świątek, Jack Draper, and Alexander Zverev. Plus, the defending champion American team will be led by Taylor Fritz and Coco Gauff. What country will come out on top to start the 2026 season? Give us your predictions in the comments below. Speaking of Australian events, sometimes the toughest opponent isn't across the net, but instead sits behind a desk at an embassy office with a rubber stamp. Shout out government workers. Earlier this week, reports dropped saying that India's #1 player, Sumit Nagal, had been denied a visa into China ahead of the upcoming Australian Open Asia-Pacific Wildcard playoff, which is being hosted in Chengdu beginning November 24th. The tournament, which has existed since 2012, hosts players from across the region as they compete for a main draw wildcard spot at the upcoming Australian Open. On Monday, Nagal took to X with a public appeal to Chinese authorities, writing, "I'm supposed to fly to China soon to represent India at the Australian Open playoff, but my visa was rejected without reason. Your urgent help would be much appreciated." But guys, don't be discouraged because as a great man once said, X gonna give it to ya. Thursday night, Nagal revealed his pleas did not fall on deaf ears, writing that his visa had been secured, thanking a slew of people and organizations for their assistance. Congrats, Nagal. We will be keeping an eye on your journey, but please, for God's sakes, do not forget your passport. All right, and set number 4, we are on to a player that is familiar with being denied entry into a country ahead of a tennis tournament. Novak Djokovic sat down with Piers Morgan for an interview that covered everything from retirement plans to his thoughts on the current state of tennis. The 24-time Grand Slam champion didn't hold back, delivering his trademark candor on topics that have fans and media buzzing. Most notably, Piers Morgan dove into Jannik Sinner's 3-month doping suspension. Take a listen.
On Sinner, is there a cloud over him about the drugs thing? Is it a case of the top players get treated at a different level in relation to that kind of thing to lesser players who are not as important?
I mean, look, that cloud will follow him as the cloud of COVID will follow me for the rest of his or my career in this case. So it's just something that it was so major. And that when it happens, it just, over the time it will fade, but I don't think it will disappear.
When Piers followed up with a "do you believe him?" Novak went on to say as part of a longer answer, I do think he didn't do it on purpose. I highly recommend checking out the full interview with one of the most accomplished athletes ever to live. Such a fascinating person. To find it, go check it out on Morgan's YouTube channel, Piers Morgan Uncensored. We'll also link it in the newsletter. And finally, on to the last story of the show. Iga Świątek's 2025 season has cemented her even further into the halls of tennis royalty. The 24-year-old Polish star is now the second woman this century to finish in the top 2 4 years in a row. Since 2022, Iga has a record of 258 wins and 46 losses and 22 singles titles, 5 of those being Grand Slams. Her consistency over the past 4 years has been nothing short of dominant. The other woman to accomplish this feat since the year 2000 was Serena Williams, when she did it between 2013 and 2016. Can Iga surpass Serena by making it to 5 consecutive years? Check back in next year and we'll let you know if we're still here. Now to close it out, time for this week's tie-break trivia. While Iga has done it 4 consecutive seasons, which WTA legend holds the current record of 12 consecutive seasons in the top 2? Want the answer without the hassle of searching the internet? Just sign up for our 5-center newsletter by going to newsletter.servedpodcast.com, or the link is in the show description, and we will share the answer to the tiebreak trivia, as well as the rest of the top stories from the week that did not make the cut. Plus, you can find the weekend draw so you know what to watch, where, and when. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube or follow us on your favorite podcast platform to stay up on all things Served. This is a production of Served Media, and shout out to Techie Sean and everybody else behind the scenes that makes it possible. See you Chuckers on Tuesday.